Well, here we are once again, you scurvy scum. Coming together at this oh so special time of year to celebrate the birth of the little baby Santa in a manger. Or the birth of the baby Satan in a government building, if you come from Iowa. You do you, I guess. Christmas is a time for grumbling. It's a time for drinking. It's a time for grumbling whilst you're drinking. And possibly regretting the fact you can't just borrow people's credit cards and go and buy your own bloody presents. It would certainly result in a lot less fake smiles and insincere gratitude on Christmas Day. That's a fact. It is a time for giving yourself a hall pass to eat entire buckets of chocolates and fucking cake. Because it's Christmas, so it must be okay. Am I right? I can practically smell the aroma of Yuletide diabetes drifting across the rooftops, and hear the sounds of my neighbours shouting out of their windows at me because I'm still using my telescope to watch the nice lady across the road get changed in her bedroom despite the recent restraining order. Idiots don't seem to understand it's called the neighbourhood watch for a reason. Cretins. In a break from tradition, this year I will be foregoing my usual Christmas repast of MRE Recipe 14 and opting for a more salubrious alternative. Whilst I will miss the lurid and iridescent colours of the vaguely nuclear looking green fettuccine, this year I decided to opt for a Christmas dinner pot noodle. How cool is that? It fulfills all of my requirements for a quality Christmas repast. It only requires a tiny bit of boiling water to prepare, it's shelf stable, so it's perfect for my post-apocalyptical pantry, and it tastes vaguely of arse. Genius! That's all my Christmases coming at once. Combine this with an ample supply of the old wife beater, and it's the perfect recipe for an opulent Christmas dinner. Then I can sit down and enjoy a marathon of my favourite Christmas movies. The Shining, The Thing, and possibly The Exorcist. They either have snow in them or they're about Jesus, so they must be Christmas movies, right? And maybe later, when I'm completely skull-fucked, I might even consider cogitating over my New Year's resolutions for 2024. Get fatter. Burn more old car tyres for the sake of the environment. And inspired by watching lots of motivational David Goggins videos, maybe this year I will muster the willpower and self-discipline to finally finish drilling those peepholes in the ladies' changing rooms at the pool. 2023 was a fairly shitty year for gaming. Starfield turned out not to be the masterpiece that all the paid reviewers and access journalists said it would be. Who would have thunk it? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 turned out to be a miniaturised DLC disguised as a new game, and Hogwarts Legacy didn't even get nominated for any category at the Game Awards. Given the number of senior gaming industry executives who are probably going to show up on Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs when they get released next month, I would have naturally assumed that this bunch would have loved a video game where you get to hang out in the children's toilets. There were also huge waves of industry layoffs, whole studios and projects were axed, and so many potentially amazing video games that ended up being ruined with woke bullshit and current day politics. Although now I mention it, maybe, just maybe, those three things might all be connected. But what do I know? In fact, I can pretty much sum up 2023 by saying that it's a fairly dark time in video games, when one of the highlights of the whole year was a video game where you might end up getting buggered by an angry bear. And the best possible outcome is that the bear doesn't turn into a geezer before he's finished the job. Yeah, dark times indeed. 2023 was a year where we spent the whole time listening to video game YouTubers rail against the state of AAA publishing in the abstract, only to then watch them take a fast payoff to shill games like Redfall, Starfield and Payday 3, whilst cramming in paid promotions for shitty mobile games like AIDS Shadow Legends. I guess it's easy to posture as a rebel in the pub if the locals are buying the beers, but actually getting your hands dirty and turning down the publisher's money, well, that is just too much of a leap. Then of course we had the terrible and unfortunate plight of the poor completionist, who got slightly discombobulated and forgot he had all those hundreds of thousands of dollars of charity money stacked in piles under his bed. An easy mistake to make. Thank the heavens that some nice gentlemen reminded him that he should possibly go and have a little look for it. I mean, it's been piling up for nearly a fucking decade. You would imagine it was spewing out from under the mattress at this point. Oh well, perhaps he was just distracted or worn out from doing all that cheering for Froskurin on G4 TV when she did her nice little speech about how all of us gamers are sexist pigs. But at least we can end this year on a positive note. Ubisoft has announced The Division 3. They have clearly kept their sense of humour in these troubling times. Obviously they have. They made that Far Cry Smurf game after all. But at this special time of year, I would like to take this opportunity to give my sincerest thanks to everyone who supports my channel and watches my filth. To my Patreon supporters, thank you for your stoic support, patience, and for putting up with my shit. I am humbly in your debt. To everyone who supports the channel in obscure and nefarious ways, thank you for your information, encouragement, insights, and dwarf pics. And to everyone who has the misfortune of simply watching my videos, you have my gratitude and sympathy. Just please don't hold me personally accountable because society made me what I am, and that is my basis of any future legal defence. I would also like to offer my heartfelt apology to anyone that I have not treated with the level of respect that they rightly deserve in 2023. If I have failed to reply to a DM, taken too long to respond, or simply made you feel disrespected, I am truly sorry, and that is entirely on me. Just please all know that I am very aware that I receive far more grace and support from all of you than I frankly deserve. And you put up with my terrible grammar. Yeah, I see you there. So in these strange times of international and economic turmoil, as we are face planting into potential regional and possibly global conflicts, and even more importantly, as AAA publishers are insisting on stuffing our video games with disillusionment, degeneracy, and sometimes literal bestiality, to quote Spock, you must have faith that the universe will unfold as it should. And if there is a giant fucking war, at least it will make for some cracking TV coverage. Until the EMPs hit at least. But worry ye not, my brethren, take heart in the fact that this wonderful thing that we call humanity has been on this planet for hundreds of thousands of years, and despite fucking practically everything up on a regular basis and at every single turn, nevertheless, we are still here. And everything pretty much worked out okay eventually. I am sure 2024 will be more of the same. Whether you are alone, compelled to spend time with your insufferable families, or have had the good fortune to be in prison this Christmas, whoever you are, and wherever you may be, please accept my very best wishes at this special time of year, and take some small comfort from the knowledge that I am thinking of you. Well, I have a kettle to boil and a vast stack of beer to drink. That Christmas pot noodle isn't going to vomit itself up the bathroom wall. So for now, good luck, you scurvy scum, and Merry fucking Christmas.